Welcome to our first UiUx Design tutorials for absolute beginners. So in this first video, I'll be taking you through the basics of UI/UX. I'll be explaining every term to make sure everything is simplified so that we can easily understand, since this is a beginner course. So first, we'll be starting with UX design. So we'll be starting with UX design basics. UX design basically means user experience design, how a person, the user, feels about interacting with or experiencing a product. So what we mean by product is digital products. Examples of digital products are our mobile app, our dashboard applications. You might not know what a dashboard means, but as you progress, you know what a dashboard means. We have our website design, our smartwatch application that are used on smart TV or desktop application. Those things are examples of products. So as a UI/UX designers, you basically be learning how to design digital products. So as we move on, things will become clear. So whenever I mention product, know I'm referring to those examples I just mentioned. So UX design simply means user experience design, how a person, the user simply means people that make use of this application. Me and you, we are all users to different applications such as Facebook, WhatsApp, different apps that we use. We're all users to those apps. So users basically mean people that use those applications. So user experience basically means how a person, the user, feels about interacting or experiencing a product. So in simple terms, user experience simply means how somebody experience a digital product. When somebody is using an app, how does the person feel when using that app? There's a way you feel when you make use of Facebook, and there's a way you feel when you make use of WhatsApp. So most times, and most of all these big tech companies, they pay attention to the user experience of their app. So that's why they are able to keep people on their platform, because they know quite well that if they keep people on their platform, they make money, they get so many people on the platform. So they go as far as making the application to have a very good user experience. That's why some people are kind of addictive to social media, because the user experience is really good and it makes somebody to always spend more time on the app. So that's basically what user experience is. It has to be with the experience, the overall experience you get while using a digital product. So for a user to have a good user experience, the product has to be usable, equitable, enjoyable, and useful. So usable simply means making something easier to use. So for a product to have a good user experience, it must be easier to use. So imagine somebody is coming to an application for the first time and the person finds the app very difficult to use. The person has a very bad user experience. So as UI/UX designers, we need to make sure that whenever we are designing, whenever we're coming up with designs of digital products, you already understand what I mean by digital product. We need to make sure that usable, they are easy to use by the users that are going to be using them. So another thing is equitable. Your designs are useful and can be used by people with diverse disability and background. As a UI/UX designer, you don't only design for people who are not disabled, you also design for people that have different disabilities. You design for people with diverse culture. So as we move on to user research, you will know how to come up with research to study these people before you design for them. So you need to make sure that your design are useful, they are usable, and they can be used by a wide range of people. So enjoyable, making things enjoyable to use, making a positive connection between the user and the product. So whenever you are designing, you need to make sure that the digital product you are designing is enjoyable to use. Because one major thing you need to note is that any digital product you are designing as a UI/UX designer, you can actually design that application to make money from that application, especially when you pay attention to the user experience. You can make money from that application. But in a scenario where the application has a very poor user experience, the application might not make money. So let me explain that again so that you understand. So there are different reasons why different people create apps. In as much as we create an app to solve a problem, what I mean by app is digital product as a whole. In as much as you design a particular application to solve a problem, you also at the long run want to make money from that digital product. So for you to actually make money from that digital product, you need to make sure that you create the digital products in a way that people will find it very enjoyable to use. So whenever they are using it, they are finding it very enjoyable, because when people find something very enjoyable, it's very easy for them to refer the app to other people. So that's one major thing you need to keep in mind. Make sure the app is simple to use, easy to use. The user does not need to overthink before they use your application, because it makes them to feel very welcome, and they don't need to crack their head for them to understand what's happening in the app. Whenever you go to your Facebook app, nobody goes your hand and teach you this is where to tap this to get this. If you want to upload an image, this is where to tap. Nobody teaches you. The app is very simple. Not only Facebook, you can pay attention to any app you use as you are always using. You discover that nobody taught you how to use that app. Is because the app is very simple to use. So that's why it's very easy for you to use it without anybody holding your hand. So one major thing you need to note is that as a UI/UX designer, any digital products you design and you need to teach people how to use that digital product, you have not actually solved the problem. You have not actually done right as a UI/UX designer, because you need to come up with designs for digital products that people can actually find it very easier to use, even without you holding their hand. So as we move on, you will know how to come up with designs that people will find enjoyable to use. So another thing is useful, a product that solves a problem. So the main reason why any app you're using is being created is because that app was created to solve a problem. So there is no app you use that was just created for fun. It was created to solve a particular problem, whether in the fintech industry, whether in the edutech industry, whether it's an e-commerce website. It was designed to solve a problem. So you don't just wake up one morning and start designing an app. You need to think of the problem you want to solve with that particular app. So as we move on, we'll study how to come up with user experience, how to do user research so that we can actually know how to come up with digital product that solves the particular problem of a user. So if you have watched this far, if you have any question, so don't forget to ask questions in the comments below so that we can trash them together. So let's go further to explain usable. As a UX designer, you need to think about every person that uses the product. So this is an image of when ketchup was first designed. Ketchup was designed in a bottle like this. When people want to use that bottle, they have to start heating the bottle for ketchup to come up. So the ketchup company revised their design and designed it this way in a squeezable format, where the user will not need to start heating the bottle for a ketchup to come out, because when users start heating it, too much ketchup will come out, making it very messy when the user wants to use it. But with this format where the ketchup bottle is very squeezable, the user can bring out the amount of ketchup they want to use at ease. So one thing you need to note is that user experience is not only for digital products. Around us, there are different things that has bad user experience. For example, it can be a door. It can be when you're trying to open a door in your house and the door is giving you an issue, or when you go to a supermarket, you see a door in front of you, the door is telling you to push. When you pull, you're doing it wrongly. So I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So there, if you look around you in your house, there are different things that has poor user experience. It can be the way maybe your kettle is being designed. It can be the way your cup is being designed. So user experience is not only for digital products. It's things around us can have poor user experience. It can be the way your laptop was designed. So, but as UI/UX designers, we are focusing on the user experience that is for digital products. But the word user experience is like a big umbrella that is not only used for digital products, it can be used for anything around us, ranging from the wires you use, the way your phone is designed, the way your pen is being designed. If you look at your pen has a cover at the top. So when you're trying to use a pen and you fix the cover inside, when you're trying to fix the cover So when you fix the cover, you hear that the pen is going to make this kind of snap sound, letting you know that the pen has actually been covered. So I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So that's an example of other things that have good user experience. So I want you to note that user experience is not only used for digital product, it can be used for different things around us. The things we see in our environment, ranging from a car, the way you open a car, the way a car is being designed. Most of all these big companies, whether they are producing tissue or producing an oven, they try to make sure that the user experience of the product that they are trying to launch is very good, so that users can always use their product. So that's why we went through the definition at the beginning, which states that user experience design is how a person, the user, feels about interacting or experiencing a product. And we went for that to state that a product is a service, a good, or a feature. So this good basically means it can be a goods, it can be a drink, it can be a restaurant, it can be any business at all, maybe an eatery. If you have an eatery and you don't know how you make your customer feel welcome to an eatery, they won't come back because they have a very poor user experience when they came to your eatery. It can be a service, the way you offer service to people, maybe when they come to your supermarket to buy something. It can be a feature. Feature means it can be any feature at all in a digital product. So let's go further to explain what makes a user experience good or poor. So most designs that are poor doesn't reflect the user need. So this is an example of the door I was trying to explain. So imagine you come to a supermarket and you face this kind of door. The door is telling you to push, so you push it backward instead of you to push it forward. So it's kind of like confusing. You don't know the right way to push. So this kind of door in UiUx, we call it Norman door. So the Norman is the father of UX. He was once working for Google when Google first started. So you can go to Google and read more about him. So these doors are called Norman doors because these are the kind of doors he used to give scenarios of application that has a very bad user experience. So just like what I explained earlier, for you to actually know a user experience that is very poor is a digital product that does not reflect the user need. So before you start designing any product, you need to understand the need of the people you are designing for, because whether you like it or not, the product you are designing for is going to be used by people. And for you to be able to design application that those people can use, you need to understand their need. So if you build a digital product around the need in which people are facing, the product is going to do well. For you to assume and start designing. So what we do in UiUx is that we look at a need and we come up with a digital product that can actually solve that need. So as we move further, everything will become clear. So when design apps use icons to save space, so this is like a principle of UI designs. So instead of just spelling out things, so as we move on to principle of UI, you understand this better. So good design consider the user's need. For the user to have a good user experience, the product will have to be usable, equitable, useful, and enjoyable. So you need to know that. Let me take it again. So good design consider the user need. You need to consider the need of the user. Remember what I meant by user. Users are the people that use a particular digital product. So the digital product can be an app, can be a dashboard design, can be a desktop application, it can be a TV application, it can be a mobile application, a mobile app, it can be an app that is used on smartwatch. For the user to have a good user experience, the product has to be usable, equitable, enjoyable, and useful.